And I'm going to say it, I think you guys are the fastest growing shop in the United States. I really don't think anybody's growing faster than you. It hits everybody. With your big shop, small shop, that fourth quarter, if you're not prepared for it, if it's your first time going for it.
We're breaking 6 figures a month.
Yeah, man, that's so exciting. So can I ask the question now? Now that we're recording, right? Everything's going? Okay, we've already started. I don't know if you guys noticed, but can I now I need to know, like, what cars have you worked on in this garage? So, and where are we at? Like, we got to set the setting because I know that we just jumped right in, but where are we at and what cars have you touched in this amazing collection?
So in some degree, we've worked on everything, but in terms of actually like doing PPF on these cars, Ryan Townsley at Protective Film Solutions, as most of you guys know, he's had the blessing of PPFing nearly everything in this garage, except for the Solus, because that one got PPF'd by the factory. But yeah, we've worked on everything in this famous collection.
Shout out to Ryan.
Shout out to Ryan.
He doesn't know I'm here, but I'm going to definitely send him that selfie later on. I'm pretty sure I've seen that Bugatti at his shop. You want to show the car real quick? Like, show off all the cars. This is just nuts. How much money is in this garage right now?
That's a tricky question because a lot of these cars, they're very unique and one-off. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of, I mean, he's had offers from, he's had crazy offers on his collection. But I mean, the car that's inside the house that maybe we'll get a quick B-roll shot of.
There's a car inside the house too?
Yeah.
You guys are holding out. Okay, I didn't even know.
It's a one-of-one car, and I mean, it's priceless. It's what somebody wants to pay for it, but it's never going to be for sale.
So
It's
actually locked inside the house. So there's no like door or anything. So they took out the glass. We had to clean it while it was like on a built wooden bridge to get into the house because the house is elevated. And so halfway in the house, we had to detail it. And then as soon as it was inside, they reframed the windows back up.
So tell me about the Solus, because that just got here. I mean, it's a McLaren?
Yes.
Yeah, so...
Dude, this thing is, when you said it looks like a spaceship, like, good Lord, that thing is nuts. What is that, and why? Okay, well, just give me the whole specs on it, because I don't know what the Solus is.
So this is the Solus GT. The car that we've been referencing that's inside the house, that's the Bugatti Vision GT. GT meaning Gran Turismo from the video game. So McLaren wanted to kind of do something special like Bugatti did and make a GT car as well.
That's cool.
So that's a 1 of 25. It's the first one to be delivered in America. Now there is a second one in America owned by the Triple F collection. Theirs is blue and orange. I personally like this one better, but...
That is incredible.
Yeah.
We'll get some B-roll of that too, because I know everybody, as soon as they start watching this, they're going to be like, what the heck, where are they at?
Yeah.
Normally we're in shops, But, and by the way, I think that's a good transition, because let's talk about your guys' shop. I'm going to say it. You guys know I talk with business owners every single day for a living. I just got off the plane and I had a business strategy meeting on the way over here. I did a consultation. And I'm going to say it. I think you guys are the fastest growing shop in the United States. I really don't think anybody's growing faster than you.
Having it in Vegas, but I know you deal with a lot more shops, but if that's the case, then that's...
I'm gonna say it. If no one else is saying it, I'm saying it, because I know you guys, and we're gonna talk about it, we're gonna unpack this thing. But the growth that you guys are experiencing is just, it's incredible. And I'm honored that we're a part of the team. I think that you guys surround yourself with an incredible staff. I mean, it's just one thing to grow fast, but it's also a different thing to actually grow a team and like the atmosphere. Like, you guys are attracting talent. You guys are making the right moves. You guys have incredible mentors. And I'm very curious to know how you met the man that let us film in your guys' garage today. And then the plans for growth right around the corner. So it's like, where do you guys want to start? I kind of want to start with the beginning.
Yeah, let's start at the beginning. So we actually started out mobile detailing, like strictly just mobile. And Tony had started it on his own. And I was like, we were good friends. I was like, oh, I want to do that. We were fresh out of high school. So we went in halves together, started a detail van. And then just like through friends and family, we just got to access through like wealthy neighborhoods we've always grown up in Summerlin, which is the area we're in right now. And then we had met one of our really good friends across the street. He has a crazy car collection as well. Nice. And we were actually doing one of our friend's cars on this street, just washing them. And it was the first day that the guy who owns all of these moved into the street. So his right-hand man, Iggy, that you had met, had came over to us and was like, oh, we need a car detailer. We're new to the state, and tried us out, and it's been ever since. We've been using them ever since. And then it just started out as like detailing his daily driver cars. And then when the Devo, this one, it hadn't been released yet. No marketing done on it. So he was like, hey, I need it washed before it goes inside the house and all this stuff. But he's like, you guys cannot take or post pictures just yet. Because Bugatti wanted to be the first to post those. I know.
Oh yeah, you get big trouble there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how in depth do you want us to go on, I guess, kind of the progress of starting out from detailing all the way to where we are now? Because I could talk forever on that, but.
So tell me, like, in the beginning, did you guys know that you were going to make that jump into film? Because now you guys are doing window tint, PPF, ceramic coating. Are you doing vinyl wrap? Remind me.
We do. We try not to push it as much just because we do. We just try not to push it as much just because of, obviously, the margins for the other services are a lot better. The headaches along with vinyl wrap, but we do offer it. We just don't push it as hard.
Okay, and in the beginning, you just strictly started doing detailing, just washes, interior,
Strictly
exterior.
detailing. Yep.
How long did you stay there at detailing?
So we stayed at detailing for 3 years, and to be quite honest, we didn't really intend to go into a shop. We kind of wanted to move into a different industry just because we were doing car-related stuff for so long. We were just like, let's try and do something more scalable.
Did it start getting boring?
I wouldn't say boring, but we've been blessed to work on like everything that anybody that's into cars would ever want to see.
That's cool.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. I guess, yes, we were kind of bored of it. Then we had a really good offer to take over our friend's lease. And we were like, you know what? Let's give the shop thing a try. He had like 2 years left on his lease. So we just subleased it from him, opened up shop. And, it was kind of slow in the beginning. Well, the first like 2 or 3 months were busy. And then it kind of declined for the next 3 months. And, we were brainstorming a lot how we're going to grow, what we can do to get better. I was introduced to Zach, who owns Diamond Auto Salon.
Nice.
Through our friend Graham. And, Graham had nothing but good things to say about Zach. He was like, Zach is up and coming. They're doing amazing. And so I spent like an hour with Zach just talking.
When was this? 2 years, 3 years ago?
No, this was 6 months. Not even. This may have been 3 months ago.
Okay.
I talked to Zach, and Zach was like, you need to get with Ray. Like, his marketing team is insane. And, I sat on it for like a week or two, picked up the phone, and we called you, and yeah.
That's awesome.
I actually had started trying to learn how to do it on my own. Before ever contacting Zach or anything like that, I was like, let's try some Google ads, and wasted a lot of money.
Yeah.
Maybe we got
well,
one
Facebook
customer.
Was doing good. You guys
Facebook?
cracked the code on Facebook.
Yep. Learned how to, sat down, cracked it on Facebook. We were pumping tons of leads. Maybe 30 days. I started that 30 days before we contacted you.
Well, before you guys started advertising, when did you guys get the key? This was 2023
This was
August? I think
literally a year ago this month.
June or July
Yeah.
of 2023. So.
And we weren't even fully moved in a year ago.
Wow, so June, July of 2023.
Yep.
And then what did the first 3 to 6 months look like? Were you guys just kind of
First
stumbling,
3
or
months,
did you kind of hit
we were
the ground?
busy because obviously it's the summer season here, and a lot of our clients were like, oh, they wanted to support and everything, and then that slow season hit us, and we're like, well, now we need to start to figure things out.
Screeching halt, right?
Yep.
How drastic of a change was it for you guys going into the fourth quarter, slow season, holiday season?
I mean, like 100 to 0. Not
Yeah.
like realistically, but like it slowed down pretty significant.
I mean, you guys were a new business, less than a year old, going through your first fourth quarter.
Yep.
I think man, I've seen it on both sides. I've seen guys that have their best year ever, but it's their first time going through a slow season with that amount of growth,
Yeah.
and it hurts. It hurts hard because payroll's higher, right? More liability, all this stuff. And then I know we've had good conversations about that because we're halfway. It's halftime. It's we're going into Q3.
Yep.
July's around the corner next week. But and then the other side of that, it hits everybody. If you're a big shop, small shop, that fourth quarter, if you're not prepared for it, if it's your
for
first time
sure.
going for it.
So yeah, our real growth has just been in the last 3 months.
Nice.
So we went from pretty slow to now we're we're cranking some pretty big numbers now.
Can we say it?
We're
We can cut this out, but this week.
we're breaking 6 figures a month.
Yeah, man, that's so exciting. I mean, that's going to be. I know I was talking to V today too. She's in charge of sales for you guys. Again, another person that's just crushing it with you guys.
Oh man, she's doing amazing.
She's doing great. And again, it's like you guys are attracting high quality talent. People who know what they're doing.
So we actually, our newest team member, he's actually from California. So
really, is
Yeah.
an installer?
yeah, so he could do window tint, paint
Okay.
corrections, PPF. He's pretty good in all the services.
So touching 6-figure months in your first year. I mean, you did it before you reached your first year in business.
Not 8th or 9th month.
In your 8th or 9th month. What was the thing that really catapulted you going into the new year? So starting 2024, you just talked about how you were getting pretty busy. End of 2023, things really slowed down. But what did the beginning of the year look like? What started going so well?
Paid marketing, honestly. Like, we always looked at the bigger shops around the country and we're like, well, they're not doing any paid marketing. But we didn't make the realization that they've already made the name for themselves and they've already
The brand.
put in all that work and they've had the branding and they have the word of mouth and everything. So we tried to copy and emulate what the big shops were doing, but it honestly hurt us a little bit. And so we
Right.
needed to take a step back, realize we do need to pay for marketing, pay for the views, get the eyes on us so we can get the customers in the door. And now we see the growth, like, okay, like eventually we might not need as much paid marketing, but right now we're
Yeah.
pumping gas on it.
But again, you talked about building a brand. Like
Yep.
when you have a big brand, you don't have to sell or advertise nearly as much. I learned that the hard way. When we first started doing advertising for shops, we would, the goal was to get to the bigger, better shops because those guys have the biggest challenges. Those guys are, they have much more advanced marketing. I mean, you talked about Diamond. If you've seen Diamonds, it's like dozens of marketing campaigns.
Yeah.
Like half the job is reading the data, right? And knowing like how to keep track of all of that stuff. But the bigger the shop, the more experience they have, the longer they've been around, right? Well, I remember the first time we got to a shop that did more than $5 million a year. We tried doing normal advertising for them. Didn't work. It just didn't really work because they built up such a big brand. They were above market average, meaning they were asking 20, 30% more than everybody else. Mm-hmm. They were still booked out, and they really didn't have to sell very hard. Like if you're a business in year 1 versus a business in year 10, and you have a big brand built up, the guy in year 10 with the big brand, that guy, most of the time, they set expectations. Like they're not even really selling hard. They by the time the customer comes to them, they know why the brand is so great. They know why their installation is better. They know why their products are better. They know the clientele that they work with. And it's like they just set expectations. Like, well, hey, here's what's going to happen. It's not paint protection. It's not paint perfection. It's paint protection. You start having those kind of conversations. So, I mean, you guys are clearly on your path there. What was the first campaign that started doing pretty good? Was it the Facebook campaign?
Facebook for sure. So a Facebook tint campaign that
That's cool.
I didn't plan filming it. I literally went through my iPhone and went back to previous clips that we've just filmed on our phone. And I threw them together and just threw on an AI voice over it. And we ran that campaign up until last month. It was still running.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And now there's more content coming?
There is. So we have, I think, 12 more scripts that we need to have filmed and edited.
That's cool.
And then those will get launched as campaigns as well.
The old generation of shops, they're not as ambitious, I should say, with content creation like you guys are. So how important was video and pictures and social to get to where you're at right now?
So to us, it's pretty important. Unfortunately, we've been a little bit negligent in we've passed up a lot of good video marketing opportunities.
Yeah.
I kind of shoot myself in the foot for that sometimes, but I mean, you can't go back on it. So
That's okay. I
learn
think
from
you
your
have more
mistakes.
opportunities.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff coming into our shop within the next 3 months. So
That's cool.
if you don't follow us on Instagram.
I know, a lot of crazy cars. I mean, didn't you guys do this crazy G-Wagon out here? Or was that at your shop? You did some kind of work to it, right?
That one was just at our shop for an event. We also have a customer who has a white 6x6 as well. His is a Brabus one, so it's pretty unique. It has a body kit.
That's insane.
Suede interior. This one has a Mansory kit. We can get some clips of that.
That's a G-Wagon?
That's a G-Wagon,
A
6x6.
That is insane.
Yeah.
I've never seen one in person.
Yeah, there's I think there's about 10 or 15 in the States.
Yeah, it's right outside this garage door. It's
Yes.
right outside, big bright yellow, just like the Bugatti right here. Yeah, this is, on the way over here, I was talking with Daniel. Daniel's the videographer behind the scenes.
Very good friend of ours.
Yeah, shout out to
Amazing
Daniel.
guy.
Yeah.
He picked me up from the airport, and I was talking to him. I was like, "Is this your first time, being around cars like this?" And I was like, "No, I've been around some Bugattis." But then I started thinking, I'm like, "Dude, this is my first time going to a private car collection. This is pretty cool. This is great."
This is like a quarter of the collection too. There's about 20 more cars. I'd say about 5 or 6 more coming that haven't been delivered.
And then you said, one of your best friends that he has one of the biggest or one of the biggest.
So here, I don't want to say the biggest, but it is massive. It's 100 cars.
You told me that, and where my mind goes is I'm thinking, okay, what is that, like the Bat Cave? Are we going to go down underneath the house or something like that, or is there?
So it's at like a private location, but he has everything from, hypercars all the way to,
That's crazy.
$20,000 beater Mercedes and everything in between. Multiples of each. It just really depends. He's really like a driver, so he's not one of the people that just lets and sits the cars. He goes out and burns down the tires, straight pipes every single one of them.
Got to use it.
Yeah,
got to use them.
So we get to go out and help film for his Instagram content as well.
Tell me about some of the challenges, because it's one thing to grow that fast, but it's a whole other thing to continuously grow and break past those barriers. The barriers that we always see is there's a $250,000 per year barrier, and then there's a $500,000 barrier. Like me and Mike Norton have talked about this in depth and frequently. Like we've done like trainings on this. There's a $750,000 a year barrier, and then $1 million barrier. How are you guys getting through some of these barriers, or what was the biggest challenge that you guys have faced?
Definitely not taking the marketing side as serious and sales side as serious. So as soon as we brought on our sales lady V, we've seen a big increase, and then also the marketing side, a big increase, and then also setting goals with our own team. Like, hey, this is what we want to see from you guys. This is like the volume we want to reach, just so everyone's kind of on the same page. Like, we all have one big goal that we want to work towards. It's not just like me and Tony, like, oh, like, yes, this is going to be our biggest month. We work with, hey, V, like, this is how much we want to hit by the end of this week. Like, we need you to hit this goal.
Yeah, she's excited.
Yeah.
I talked to her today, as you guys know, and she was like,
She gets hyped.
so dialed in on it.
Yeah. She takes it very seriously.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's exciting. And how do you guys approach building your team? Because you said finding talent right now, finding employees is a little bit challenged right now. But again, you've gotten to where you're at now. You've broken past some of those barriers we're just talking about. So what's the approach?
The biggest part is they have to have good chemistry with our guys that we currently have now as well. Because if they don't fit in, it's only going to be toxic for the whole team. So making sure everybody is super friendly, everybody jokes with each other in the back of the shop. They all have to get along super well, but also they need to take pride in their work and like really care for what they do, because if they're just coming to get a paycheck, then it's not going to end at the work at the end of the day. Everyone's got to work to be the best they can be.
That's awesome. Where did you get that mindset from? Valuing culture so much? Is that just like an instinctual type thing?
Me and Tony brainstorm all day long. We talk with great mentors that we have. We listen to you. We just kind of take everything from everybody and pick the best parts of it and try and recreate it.
I know that about you guys. You guys are absolutely committed to being students, and we were just talking off camera, and my belief at least, the minute you think you know it all, you're done. Yeah. You're absolutely done, because there's always someone there that's looking to fight and take your spot. And the minute you stop learning and stop growing, you're gonna stop. You're gonna stay where you're at. Mm-hmm. And in business, you can't stay where you're at, or else you're losing traction. Mm-hmm. So you talked about some of your mentors. Like, who helped you guys in the beginning? Who did you lean on? I know one of the gentlemen's here, which I'm excited to learn about. We're in his garage, like we talked about earlier. Like, tell me about that. Like, how did that influence you guys? How did that help you in the beginning?
He's been there from the very beginning. He's helped us with anything we've ever needed, and I can't thank him enough for everything that he's done for us.
And from the very beginning, probably our second or third month of starting detailing is when we met the gentleman who owns this car collection.
Nice.
So, the very beginning.
We're going to keep him a mystery?
To be on the safe side for me, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. They'll figure it out later on. I'm sure some people will know.
Oh, they'll know. Yeah.
Well, you talked about it, right? Ryan Townsley has worked on these cars, so
yeah.
if you know PFS, if you know Ryan, you know who this is.
Definitely. And another person who's, he's a great mentor. He's like a big brother to Austin and I. He's the one who has the car collection with 100 cars.
Nice.
He had a lot of success in e-commerce. So and he understands cars a lot, and he understands company culture. He understands a lot of the things that we've implemented into our business. Brand building especially, because that's his specialty, brand building. You guys can follow him on Instagram. It's xmachina, but he's incredible. He's also done more than I could ever imagine.
That's cool. I think I've heard that name before.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to check it out. I didn't even think to check out his Instagram or his social.
Yeah.
We'll check that out afterwards.
Yeah.
So you talked about branding. I think that branding is a big focus for you guys. Is that where you take a lot of inspiration? Do you brainstorm a lot?
Yeah, brand building and company culture is kind of two things that Austin and I have been focusing on a lot lately.
What's the approach? Like what's around the corner for you guys?
Even at the start of detailing, the cars we had access to, we never ran any paid marketing for our detailing come up, and our Instagram did all the work for us. So being able to put our hands on these cars, someone goes on our Instagram, they're sold already. We don't have to do anything. We tell them the price and we show up and we did the work. Like there was no questions asked. But yeah, we were the only ones who were able to put our hands on these in Las Vegas.
I can see why you had that mindset shift of not needing marketing to now I need marketing.
Exactly, because we never needed it before. We didn't
Being
have
a detailer.
We didn't have a website. It was strictly just an Instagram account.
You're kidding. You didn't even have a website?
No, nothing.
So when did you build your website? When you got the lease to the door?
Maybe September.
Wow.
September,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So you guys went from June all the way up to September without a website, and you guys had keys to your location?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. And then after that, fourth quarter came, and then that's where. So who pointed out to you guys, or did you guys kind of come to the realization?
Me and Tony, we're lifelong best friends. We've known each other for so long. We're always together. We hit the gym together. So we're constantly bouncing ideas back off of each other. We're like, how can we improve? We need to make this work. We have people depending on us and all this stuff. So it's not one person's idea or the other. It's a combination of both. It was putting our heads together and really like, okay, we need to just work on everything.
Nice.
Everything needs to be better.
That's
From
cool.
the website to our employees, we crack down on our employees, and the quality of work. We try and have zero comebacks. So working on that and quality control and all that stuff, it really helped.
So what was the biggest advice or inspiration that you got from the person's house that we're in right now? What was the big takeaway from him?
That's a really good question.
And I also want to know why he likes Bugattis so much. There's
I believe the reason why he likes Bugatti so much is
four,
because
right? He has four?
He has, one in the house, 3 here, and 2 more on the way.
Nice.
Yeah.
And he's an investor
In
tier one?
no,
We have
no
zero
investors.
investors.
I know the answer. I just wanted, because I know the audience is going to be thinking that. So this is you
The very
guys.
common thing we get asked is
Oh, yeah.
either our other friend who has the big car collection, everyone always thinks he's a part of our company, but he just is a big supporter, has always helped us. Same with Hezi, but from the very beginning, it's just been me and Tony.
I know. I think that's super impressive, man. Because again, it just shows that you guys are actually absorbing, you guys are learning, you're building the skill, the knowledge, the talent, the belief, everything, the vision for the future, the team to support it and make it come true. So, going back to the question, I know I took you off topic. I'm
No,
sorry,
that's
Tom.
okay.
What was the big takeaway from him?
It's
hard to say, huh?
Yeah, it is very hard to say. Just because he's always giving us good advice. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is just to treat everyone with respect and always do right by everybody. Never cut corners, never cheat anybody, never disrespect anybody. But yeah, that's probably what I would say, Austin.
And one thing that I've taken away for sure is not biting off more than you can chew. So there's been opportunities where we can go into a new building or hire new people, but if we did, it probably would have been the downfall of us. So really taking it serious and trimming off the fat and not doing too much at once is the biggest part.
Staying focused.
Exactly. Like because the growth part, you always want more, you know, like
The shiny object syndrome.
exactly. So
Or
so
the,
trying to scale too fast is, I could see being a big downfall.
Oh, man. Big time. I mean, if you, man, I talk about growth all day long. I mean, you guys know me, but it's, you know, you stress out your team, the team gets fatigued, the team starts getting, then you start getting backlash, and then that great camaraderie you guys are building right now, it's hard to do that. I've witnessed dictators,
Yeah.
you know, people that, you know, they're excited when their team works for 7 days, 10 days straight.
Yeah.
You can do that in seasons. You know, the owners need to do that shit, but you're not supposed to stay there.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to, but that's something that they don't talk about in entrepreneurship, right? They always talk about work, grind. Don't forget weekends, forget date night. You don't need to do this and that. And that's true. But once you get through that certain barrier, like that shit needs to stop. Like you have to reel it back in. And sometimes you stay there for a couple of years or a few years, and that's fine. But eventually, if you really want to have a business that gives you that time freedom, you got to delegate, you got to elevate, you got to build a team, you got to cast a vision, you got to build it for the people, build it for your team, not just for yourself, you know, and not be happy when they work 14 days straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you guys say is your next goal right now? Like, where are you going now? You just crossed the 1 year mark.
So getting a new shop for sure. So
Already?
we're maxed out at our location right now. And that's another thing is, after our first month, we realized like we're going to outgrow this space fast. We started looking and thankfully we didn't take the first space that we looked at. We really liked the location, but now if we would have moved in there, it would have been shooting ourselves in the foot. We already need more space than what that space would have been.
Wow.
So definitely looking for a new location.
How big are you thinking?
It's the one we have our eye on is pretty big. It's about 18,000 square feet.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I have no doubt you guys are going to fill that thing. I have no doubt you guys are going to be able to grow into that. That's exciting. Are you guys still planning on focusing on just automotive film space?
In terms of our existing business?
Yeah, like tier one, is it going to grow outside of color change wrap or sorry, you know, you guys don't really promote color change too much, but mainly PPF, window tint, coatings and stuff like that. Are you going to stick with that niche like everybody else, or are you thinking about something a little different?
So our next space is already going to come with service lifts and a tire machine, and a dyno.
Oh.
The dyno we're probably not going to really do much with. It's kind of just there. But as far as the service lifts, we're probably going to offer like wheel and tires. So if anybody wants.
I mean, it's been done. The dyno stuff, the performance has been done. You know, Ryan Townsley, he launched that, I think, last year. I'm pretty sure he launched that division in his 54,000 square foot building. You guys haven't been there yet?
We have not.
Oh, you gotta go, man.
Yeah.
You gotta, especially with what you guys got going on. You know, I mean, you gotta. You guys are around these cars all the time. You got to see where it got worked on.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm sure this is coming to you guys pretty soon too. But or the next, who knows, right? That car right there, maybe.
That one's already done.
That one's already
Well,
done.
maybe they didn't do a good job on it. I'm just saying.
They didn't. But
They didn't do a good job. Oh, well, you know it's not going to last that long then. You got to get that stuff removed.
the wide body Urus that he's building, though, that'll be coming to us. So that'll be cool.
A wide body Urus, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wide body. I like that. Well, going back to what I was saying about PFS, you know, they blew up that division in a very short period of time. I remember we had a mastermind at his shop. This was probably beginning of 2023 sometime, and he just acquired this extra space. And I mean, it had to have been 7,000 square foot of workable space, maybe more than that, you know, like plus or minus 1,000, I don't know. But I was like, 6 months later, it was maxed out, doing everything under the sun, high performance mods and all kinds of stuff like that.
That's extremely impressive. I kind of don't want to scale that fast. The reason why I believe that Ryan was able to do that is because he was very well established in the window tinting and paint protection film space.
True.
So he had one less thing to focus on rather than trying to grow multiple sides of his business. He just had to add one and, you know, grow it. And he already had so many customers, so it was probably super easy for, you know, them to just know, okay, I can go to Ryan because he can offer this service for me now too. The trust is already built. They know his quality of work, and there's no reason to go anywhere else.
100%. I love that. You just pivot, right? You just pivot a little bit once you already have that established.
Yeah, which is kind of like what we still do currently to this day. So we never shut down our mobile detailing service. So we have a full-time employee that still runs that to cater to our original clients, keep them satisfied, keep us fresh on their minds, and it really does help. So we have clients, maybe they don't use us every week like some of our clients, but they're monthly clients. And then now one of them, he's bringing a brand new 296 Ferrari to us to get full body PPF.
So what does your guys' day-to-day look like now? It's probably changed so rapidly, right?
Yeah, so at the start it was going out and cleaning the cars ourselves, and then as we grew, now I sit on the computer, I look over all the marketing stuff, plan out new marketing videos, help with the sales because my desk is right next to the V and stuff.
Nice.
And
so you're everyday sales and marketing stuff?
There's always something to work on, whether it's writing up a new SOP for a certain part that needs adjustment, or going back and even helping lay a sheet if I need to, and stuff like that.
So I handle a lot of the boring things, kind of financials. I spend a lot
Backbone.
of...
The
Yes.
backbone is what you're saying.
Yes.
The stuff that if it doesn't get done, everything collapses.
Pretty much.
If I handled the finances, this ship would have been steered south way sooner.
100%.
But yeah, so I handle a lot of the finances, the accounting, which is kind of the same thing, the branding. I've been starting to focus on that a lot more, as well as the
Great.
content. So we're going to launch our YouTube channel here probably within the next week or so. We're going to start going a lot more in depth with TikTok, because there's a big opportunity with TikTok. There's no doubt about that. And Instagram, we're putting out better content than what we were before.
So it sounds like you both are working on marketing in different marketing channels.
Different styles. So mine is more of the paid marketing side, while
Right.
his is more of like the organic branding, social presence side.
That's great. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, there's multiple marketing channels. It's not just one thing, you know. I mean, whenever we approach, like, there's a whole different department that just does Google for me. Then there's a whole other person that just does videos, like video production. That's like a team right there of pre-production, post-production. So it's like, if you clump all that together, you're not gonna. How could you be highly skilled in that one thing? So I didn't know that. That's awesome. So you guys are dividing up that workload.
I think it's the only way to do it, because if we're trying to work on the same thing to get the same thing done, it's kind of redundant. So splitting up the task, you can be way more efficient. I think that's what's helped a lot of our success as well, is there's, instead of one brain that's steering the whole ship, we have two, so there's twice as much knowledge that we can put towards something.
And then you guys are divide and conquer. And then you get So you said the boring stuff, right? Let's talk about SOPs.
Yeah.
How important has SOPs been?
We're just
your
now
growth?
like implementing them hard. So that's what I was doing right before this. I had to peel myself away from the computer. I was writing them up with some of our team members, because they're a big part of it as well. If I might miss a step, that they're like, no, this is very important. But anything from running the plotter to the preparation of the cars and everything in between, laying the film and all that stuff.
Okay, so now that you guys you just started getting into the 6-figure months, now you're saying, like, I have to do this.
Yeah, I think it's the only way where we'll be able to step away and have some sort of guidance for somebody to look at without needing us to hold their hand the whole way through.
Okay, and you're mainly focused on operations right now?
Yeah, like internal, just getting the structure built, because I know we're going to scale very fast.
Yeah.
So if that's the weakest point, it's just going to crumble there. So I really want to build that strong before we get too big.
What do you want to do by the end of the year?
Numbers wise?
Team size, numbers wise, personal goal wise? Do you finally want to take a Sunday off, or you already got that?
Numbers wise, we're aiming for $1 million.
Nice.
Staff wise, we are looking to add another PPF installer, one more window tinter, and a couple more detailers, and probably one more vinyl installer. Just because we will do vinyl, but it has to be the right amount.
And a receptionist.
And a receptionist.
Because with the new leads, our sales lady V, she literally has barely any time to intake the customers now and everything, because there's just so many incoming that we make her call them instantly and respond, and she's very good at it. And so it takes time away from her actual goal of hitting these sales numbers. When a customer comes in, now they're talking to her for 40 minutes, which is great, because she's great at in-person sales. I mean,
100%.
It's nearly 100% close rate when she gets them in person. Yeah,
Oh man, we were role playing today, and she kept. I had to tell her no like 3 different times as we're doing a sales role play.
Yeah.
And she's damn good at getting people to come into the shop.
Yep.
She's damn good at that. I was trying to focus on her pain points. I wonder what she's going to say when she watches this. I don't think that she knew that what she got into when we started doing sales training.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, but she's phenomenal, and you guys are doing
Yeah.
a great job, man.
And she's good at what she does naturally. Like, everybody that comes in the shop, I mean, if you look at like our Google reviews, most of them say like, oh my God, V was such a good customer experience, because she's the one who's face to face with the customers, that has to deal with all the problems that these customers have, like, hey, I'm getting sunburnt while I'm driving, or things like that. So she's really good at tailoring exactly what the customer needs to fit their end goal.
So what do you have my team focusing on? What do you have media team focusing on when it comes to marketing right now?
So I think we did everything. Is there any service that we didn't get from you? So we have paid Google ads.
Yeah.
Facebook.
I've just been stuck on the website because I think the website looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I know you guys just did some updates there. But the other side of it, I know that there was some Google ads going. You know, I did an audit on there. I was strategizing a bit, but I haven't looked at it in the past 2 weeks because we just got done with the masterclass, and I was just all in on the masterclass.
So I think a day before that masterclass, I was like, I called Heather and I was like, let's up the budget. Like, we can take on more, so let's crank up the budget. So we increased that. We're letting it ride out for a couple weeks, and then she said we might have room to increase it some more. So that's what we'll do when we're ready. And then I just planned out a bunch more campaigns that we want to launch as well. So she was talking with the team to see which one would be smarter to launch first, and then we're going to attack that.
So it's still the Google Facebook conversation?
Google Facebook, yep.
Okay. You know, I was thinking and prepping as I was coming over here, and I was like, okay, what questions do I want to ask? And I'm surprised that marketing was the biggest challenge for you guys. I didn't expect that answer. You know, I thought it was going to be, you know, there's a million different things in entrepreneurship that stops people from growing. The people component especially, but it just seems like you guys you're really good at identifying where you're at.
Yeah.
And the problem that you have right now. And I think that's important to talk about, because the faster the company grows, the more your stop doing lists and start doing lists changes. So you have to be so adaptable, and you have to change as the company changes. Like, you can't do what you did a month ago, or else you're going to stay where you're at.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Especially as the owners, right? So you got to stop doing stuff, start doing new stuff. Like, how do you guys figure that out so rapidly?
We like to look at not only competitors here, but shops all over the country, and see what they're doing well and what they're lacking. And
But when you say look, like, are you calling them? Or are you just stalking them on social?
everything. So
Nice. Okay,
everything.
so you're calling them.
I've called a few, especially locally, like just to see
I love that.
kind of their pricing and stuff like that, to make sure
Yeah.
we're not crazy high or crazy low, like, but kind of seeing what they're lacking, whether it's customer experience or install quality or anything like that. We try and eliminate anything that someone would turn their head away from going to our shop. So we see where people lag in their shops, and then we try and, I don't even know the right words. If Tony can probably explain it a bit better.
We identify where our strong suits are and where our weaknesses are, and we kind of audit our competitors as well, and kind of see what we can do better, if that makes sense.
Keep them on their toes.
Yeah.
Keep them on their toes.
Yeah.
Well, I also know that you guys are actually, you'll reach out to other shops too that you take inspiration from, and get advice from them. Like, I know that you reached out to Ryan, you reached out to Diamond. You know, shout out to the Diamond guys out in LA, Diamond Auto Salon. Is there any other guys that you've reached out to that have taken really good advice from?
Yeah, definitely. One of our really good friends here in Vegas, he owns a window tint company called Glassy Business. He does paint protection film as well.
Cool.
He's super big in the residential space, but he's been a super big help. And one thing that Austin and I do with him, we try to keep our prices in the same range, because we're within a radius of each other, and we think it's super important to do that, because if there's somebody who's super cheap, it kind of hurts the market more than does any good.
It's so unfortunate, man. It really does. It sucks, especially going through the tough years. Not a tough year. This year is doing pretty good. I think it was a rough start. I know it was a rough start.
Definitely.
Because I got all the phone calls, but it's it's just not a good default. It's not a good defense. Like when you're on a phone call with somebody, if the only way you overcome a price objection of, hey, I got a cheaper quote is, oh, well, I'll do it cheaper. Like that's not a good way to overcome sales objections. It's not a good way to run the business because then it affects your brand. And then every customer that comes in, every referral that comes in, they're always asking for a deal right from the beginning. So it's you always have to have the cheap guy in the market, but I wouldn't want to be the cheapest guy in the market.
Definitely not. There's a lot of cheap people in Vegas. I mean, the market's becoming very saturated here, so everyone kind of tries to undercut each other, and it really doesn't do any good.
Sounds like we need to have a group meeting.
Yeah. There's shops in town that are offering a full front end for $1,200.
Oh, wow.
So when it comes to that, you can't beat that, But the install quality, obviously there's going to be a difference, but you can't compete with that pricing.
Right, but then at the same time, it's not sustainable.
No.
It's not sustainable. So I don't know if it's a marketing tactic to, get your foot in the door, but it's just absolutely not sustainable. How do you grow a big business like that? If you look at other industries where people have done that, that segment ends up burning themselves out. So it's just not sustainable, or it's just like a shell company or something.
Yeah. So
it's like a cover-up company.
Yeah. So we've told V, like, don't be afraid to turn people away if they're not willing to see the value in our service.
Tell me about did you coach up V a little bit, or did she come in and you guys mutually said, hey, look, here's what we're going to do?
She was already at a reception position at another shop, and she had reached out to us and wanted to really work with us. She liked our brand and everything. And when we were ready to bring her on, that's when we did. And then we realized where her skills were at, and they weren't subpar, but we did see like, hey, there could be improvement here, because we notice everything where I sit right next to her, and
right.
listening to the phone calls, we're like, okay, I know you offered the sales training. So as soon as we did that, the quality of leads that we're getting now, and with the sales training, it's only just elevated us.
I know, man. She was super excited.
Yeah.
And you have to be that way, right? You have to be a people person to be a great salesperson. You have to be energetic. You have to be a good communicator.
Yeah.
She checks all those boxes. And I remember it was last Tuesday, right? Because we
didn't do this.
Last Tuesday when I had that meeting with her, she goes, Ray, I just closed 12 deals today.
Yeah.
I was like, what the heck? What changed? And she goes, honestly, our last sales training really helped out. She goes, at those opening questions. So
she keeps the sticky notes on her desk, like taped to the desk. Each
that's
service,
cool. She sent me a picture of that. She sent me a
questions.
picture of that. That's pretty exciting. What's next for Tier 1? I know we talked about the long-term vision of the year, but it's like, what's just around the corner? Like, what's next month look like? What's the following month?
What's really in the near future is a new building and just hiring more staff to keep it broad.
Building, yeah. I'm excited for that.
There's a new company coming to the market, but we'll leave that as a surprise.
Oh, I'm excited, man. I'm super excited to see what you guys do. Anything you want to say to the Autofil Mastery community?
If you haven't gotten with Ray already, you definitely should.
You guys are awesome. You didn't have to do that.
Like, if you're trying to do it on your own, save the money. If you're trying to learn, I did that mistake. You waste a lot, Just go to somebody who already knows how to do it. They're going to spend your money correctly and actually get the results you're looking for. Because even with the Facebook leads or the Facebook campaigns that I taught myself how to do, the quality of the leads that come in weren't the greatest. And then even when I tried Google, we maybe got one customer over a month,
I appreciate you guys. That was supposed to be a plug for you guys, like follow Tier 1, but you guys are awesome.
Yeah. But
you guys are awesome.
Because you've been a great help.
Well, hey, we're just getting started, man.
Yeah.
We're just getting started, but you guys did all the hard work. You built out this crazy company in such a short period of time. So again, if you haven't followed the Tier 1 guys, follow them on social media. They're definitely going to continue to grow, and I'm looking forward to that massive facility here in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
You'll have to come check it out.
I'll definitely be here, man. Well, I want to come back in November. There's that big car thing in November here.
If everything goes smooth, we should be in there by then.
And we'll have a big grand opening.
Yeah, there's a big grand opening around SEMA time that we're going
That's what we should end this with.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for the grand opening.
Yes.
We'll just invite everybody to come to the grand
It's going
opening.
to be
Yeah.
right after SEMA. As soon as SEMA's last day, we're going to have a bunch of people there.
So our last event, within 3 days of notice, we had over 1,000 people show up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's gonna be crazy. You gotta get Diamond. We gotta get Mike. We gotta get Ryan.
Yeah, we'll get
hopefully.
everybody.
I don't know. Ryan's a very busy man. So, will this guy show up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would.
His cars will be there. I don't know.
Woo! All right, enough said. That's how we're going to end it. Interview's done. That was great, dude.
Yeah, thank you.
Talk about like a cliffhanger.